Saint Sophia. Architecture. Saint Sophia is one of the greatest surviving examples of Byzantine architecture. Of great artistic value was its decorated interior, with mosaics and marble pillars and coverings. The temple itself was so richly and artistically decorated, that Justinian proclaimed, "Solomon, I have outdone thee." Justinian himself had overseen the completion of the greatest cathedral ever built up to that time, and it was to remain the largest cathedral for 1,000 years up until the completion of the cathedral in Seville in Spain. Justinian's basilica was at once the culminating architectural achievement of late antiquity, and the first masterpiece of Byzantine architecture. Its influence, both architecturally and liturgically, was widespread and enduring in the Eastern Orthodox, Roman Catholic, and Muslim worlds alike. The largest columns are of granite, about 19 or 20 meters high and at least 1.5 meters in diameter. The largest weigh well over 70 tons apiece. Under Justinian's orders, 8 Corinthian columns were disassembled from Baalbek, Lebanon, and shipped to Constantinople for the construction of Saint Sophia. The vast interior has a complex structure. The nave is covered by a central dome, 55.6 meters from floor level, supported in part by an arcade of 40 arch windows. Repairs to structure have left the dome somewhat elliptical, with the diameter varying between 31.24 meters and 30.86 meters. The dome is carried on 4 concave triangular pendentives that serve to transition from the circular base of the dome to its rectangular base. The weight of the dome passes through the pendentives to 4 massive piers at the corners. At the western entrance and eastern liturgical side, the arch openings are extended by half-domes carried on smaller semi-domed extras, a hierarchy of dome-headed elements built up to create a vast oblong interior, crowned by the main dome. Despite all of the aforementioned features, the weight of the dome remained a problem, requiring the addition of external buttresses. Interior surfaces are sheathed with polychrome marbles, green and white with purple porphyry, and gold mosaics. The exterior, clad in stucco, was tinted yellow and red during a restoration in the 19th century, on the direction of the Fassadi architects. Architecture. Dome. The dome of Saint Sophia has spurred particular interest for many art historians, architects and engineers, because of the innovative way the original architects envisioned the dome. The dome is supported by pendentives which had never been used before the building of the structure. The pendentive enables the dome to transition gracefully into the square shape of the space below. The pendentives not only achieve a pleasing aesthetic quality, but they also restrain the lateral forces of the dome and allow the weight of the dome to flow downward. Although this design stabilizes the dome and the surrounding walls and arches, the actual construction of the walls of Saint Sophia weakened the overall structure. The bricklayers used more mortar than brick, which weakened the walls. When the dome was placed atop the building, the weight of the dome caused the walls to lean outward because of the wet mortar underneath. When Theodorus the Younger rebuilt the original dome, he had to first build up the interior of the walls, so that they were vertical, in order to support the weight of the new dome. Another probable change in the design of the dome when it was rebuilt was the actual height of the dome. Isidore the Younger raised the height of the dome by approximately 6 meters, so that the lateral forces would not be as strong, and the weight of the dome would flow more easily down the walls. A second interesting fact about the original structure of the dome was how the architects were able to place 40 windows around the base of the dome. Saint Sophia is famous for the mystical quality of light that reflects everywhere in the interior of the nave, which gives the dome the appearance of hovering above the nave. This design is possible because the dome is shaped like a scalloped shell, or the inside of an umbrella with ribs that extend from the top of the dome down to the base. These ribs allow the weight of the dome to flow between the windows, down the pendentives, and ultimately to the foundation. The unique character of the design of Saint Sophia shows how this structure is one of the most advanced and ambitious monuments of late antiquity. Architecture. Narthex and portals. The Imperial Gate was the main entrance between the outer and inner narthex. The outer narthex was a vaulted outer vestibule that was reserved for those not yet baptized. The inner narthex, or vestibule, glistens with Justinian's original gold mosaics, embellished with floral and geometric patterns. The main entrance was reserved only for the emperor. The Byzantine mosaic above the portal depicts Christ and Emperor Leo VI, the Wise. A long ramp from the northern part of the outer narthex leads up to the upper gallery. Architecture. Upper gallery. The upper gallery is laid out in a horseshoe shape that encloses the nave until the apse. Several mosaics are preserved in the upper gallery, an area traditionally reserved for the empress and her court. The best preserved mosaics are located in the southern part of the gallery. Architecture. Lodge of the Empress. The Lodge of the Empress is located in the center of the upper enclosure, or gallery, of the Saint Sophia. From there, the Empress and the court ladies would watch the proceedings down below. A round, green stone marks the spot where the throne of the Empress stood. Architecture. Marble door. The marble door inside the Saint Sophia is located in the southern upper enclosure, or gallery. It is probably removed from another Hellenistic building and was brought to Saint Sophia. It was used by the participants in synods. They entered and left the meeting chamber through this door. Architecture. Decorations. Originally, under Justinian's reign, the interior decorations consisted of abstract designs of the marble slabs on the walls and mosaics on the curving vaults. Of these, one can still see the two archangels Gabriel and Michael in the spandrels of the bema. There were already a few figurative decorations, as attested by the eulogy of Paul the Silentiary. The spandrels of the gallery are revetted in opus sectile, showing patterns and figures of flowers and birds, in precisely cut pieces of white marble, set against a background of black marble. In later stages, figurative mosaics were added, which were destroyed during the iconoclastic controversy. Present mosaics are from the post-iconoclastic period. The number of treasures, relics and miracle working, painted icons of the Saint Sophia grew progressively richer into an amazing collection. Apart from the mosaics, A large number of figurative decorations were added during the second half of the 9th century, such as an image of Christ in the central dome, Orthodox saints, prophets and church fathers in the tympanum, historical figures connected with this church, such as Patriarch Ignatius, some scenes from the Gospel in the galleries. Basil II let paint on each of the 4 pendentives a giant 6-winged cherub.